Minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
After 25 years of building websites for all kinds of companies in many different industries, AmericanEagle.com realized a well-designed website is also your best employee, bringing efficiency, revenue, production, showing up every day, giving above and beyond to increase your bottom line. That's what a website designed, developed, and hosted by AmericanEagle.com has brought to so many clients. An AmericanEagle.com website is a 24/7 branding exercise, building rapport and thus brand equity while you sleep. Companies like WeatherTech have relied on AmericanEagle.com's website design and development and hosting capabilities for years. When some of the world's top brands need a reliable company to prepare their sites for high-traffic events, who do they call? AmericanEagle.com. Their clients have come to rely on them for a full line of website services, from consulting and strategy to digital marketing, hosting, and maintenance. Give the team at AmericanEagle.com a call today. 1-877-WEB-NOW. The number 1 is the number. AmericanEagle.com is the website. 1-877-WEB-NOW-1 is the number.
With thousands of locally owned Napa stores across the nation, chances are that wherever you call home, they do too. So whether you stop by your local Napa Auto Parts store, a Napa Auto Care Center, or visit Napa online, you can count on Napa Know-How.
6:07 in the Team Hochberg Traffic Center. Jim Talamonte.
Well, we have a morning rush on the inbound Stevenson. Traffic is slow from Harlem to Pulaski and Damon to the Ryan. The travel time is going up. It's 33 minutes from 355 to Lakeshore Drive, up on 28. The Eisenhower, traffic is slow outbound St. Charles to North Avenue. Just a brief slowdown. 29 minutes downtown to 390. Inbound still 28. Inbound Ryan, traffic slow in the express lanes. 35th to the Stevenson. Locals still clocking in at 14 minutes from 95th to downtown. Inbound Kennedy, it's a little congested. Lawrence and Montrose, the left lane is closed there in both directions approaching Montrose for the ongoing demolition work, and the outbound exit to Montrose is closed. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Lots of sun today, warm temperatures, the high at 84. It'll be clear tonight, low 61. A sunny, warmer day tomorrow, the high up to 88. And then sunshine, a very warm day on Thursday with a high at 90. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
57 at O'Hare. Next news, 6:30. Breaking news as it happens. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, New Jersey is moving to reopen. We're actually a little bit ahead of New Jersey. Here's some good news for you, although we didn't get hit nearly as hard as New Jersey did by COVID-19 either. But yesterday they reopened outdoor seating at restaurants. You know, we've enjoyed that for a week.
Wow.
And here was Phil Murphy in an interview with Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show, you know, explaining that, yeah, some business people are a little bit upset, but most people get it.
You had to go to court, actually, a fight with Asbury Park. The local town wanted to have indoor dining restaurants starting last weekend. In the end, you won in court, but the larger battle is going on literally as we speak. There are business owners who are enraged that this reopening hasn't happened sooner.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you mentioned this, we were the second hardest hit state in America, over 12,600 fatalities. The virus indoors is far more lethal than when it's outdoors. So we got to be very careful about opening up things that are inside, lack of ventilation, close proximity. We'll get there. There's no question we'll get there. We're just not ready yet.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if people can hear it. We have a heckler who's yelling about this very thing. I mean, this rage that people feel about businesses not being opened fast enough, It's real. Why aren't you moving more quickly? You know, a lot of business owners say it's kind of arbitrary. Why can I walk to Home Depot and with 100 people, but I can't go have a meal?
Yeah, this guy deserves to say what he wants to say, but honestly, overwhelmingly, the majority of folks get it.
I'm glad that that guy saying what he wants to say is not above Phil Murphy's pay grade, because I know the Constitution otherwise is. That famous incantation from the good Governor Murphy. Savannah Guthrie and the Today Show team also interviewed a bunch of Jersey Shore businesses about the reopening and about the hammering they're taking and their optimism for the near term.
Small businesses throughout communities like Asbury Park have been hit particularly hard.
We've lost over $1 million just in this venue since we've been closed.
Restaurants like Langosta Lounge usually employ more than 200 people a season. This year, they can only afford to bring back 20.
Getting a little teary because there's so much on the line for small business owners. We put our heart and soul into this. My family makes huge sacrifices for these people to have jobs.
For now, Joe Maggio says the best thing he can do is keep making the subs his store, Frank's Deli, is famous for.
Nobody knows what's going to happen from 6 months from now. Nobody. I don't care the best scientists on TV, the best people. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Even the economists. Hopefully, it goes away and everything's back to normal.
And the process of getting back to normal enters phase 2 today in New Jersey, which includes outdoor seating at restaurants. But is it enough to survive?
When I open, it's like my dream. It's like American dream.
Restaurant owner Ada Askidam, an immigrant from Ethiopia, is depending on it.
It's going to be back normal. I'm not worried about this.
Jackie Sharp is.
Yeah, I hope she's right, but I fear that outdoor seating isn't going to be enough to sustain businesses. I mean, you know, there's a lot of rumors flying around Chicago about some pretty big restaurant concerns that may or may not survive. And yet we're treated politicians celebrating themselves for opening up outdoor seating or opening up a lakefront trail.
It was already been open.
It's
how out of touch can our politicians be? This is just eye-opening.
Hopefully, I wish it was eye-opening for more, because I think Phil Murphy's right about New Jersey, and he might as well have been speaking about Illinois as well. All of this reopening is exactly what we said. How it would happen is exactly what we said would happen. Dominoes have to fall. Mm-hmm. People have to be the first movers. And so DeSantis and Kemp and Abbott, they took all the heat, but then everybody moved when they moved, most everybody. This is the only place where when somebody moves to do the right thing, there are no dominoes that fall. It's the most remarkable state, or at least Chicagoland region is the most remarkable region. And one of those movers who is trying to do something, has been for, several weeks now, is Keith Pekau. He is a U.S. Air Force veteran. He's also the mayor of Orland Park. And the village of Orland Park took some action last night to continue to press the issue with the state. And we want to talk to Mayor Pekau about that, who joins us now. Mayor, thanks for being with us again. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. How you doing?
Good. So you put out a video last week where you talked mainly about the capriciousness of the rules regarding which businesses can open and how they can operate versus other similarly situated situations or businesses that are treated very differently. And you concluded with this idea, why are we on a 28-day clock for moving through phases when every other state and country in the West is on a 14-day clock? And you implored Governor Pritzker to consider your plea and your proposed plans. And how was that received?
The only information that I received back is I believe a spokesman made a statement that said the mayor of Orland Park is not a medical expert, which of course is true, but I am fairly well educated and I can certainly look at data. He's not a medical expert, and his two experts are physicists. Well, I'm an aerospace engineering major, so I fail to see the difference. He doesn't have any medical experts on his team either, from what I can gather.
Well, I mean, again, too, it's the question, okay, I'll see your medical experts and I'll bring you all these other medical experts that are saying different things than your medical experts. So the idea of just relying on, science, or I've got these scientists here standing next to me. That's not compelling. But otherwise, he wouldn't respond on point. So your village took action last night, and what was that action?
We took a few actions. We announced that we'll do our Independence Day celebration. We announced that we're going to open a couple of the facilities that we own, the health facilities we own. But I guess most importantly, the action that we directed our village manager to take and our attorneys to take is to file suit against the governor.
And so when you talk about health facilities, gyms that your town owns, they're going to be reopened?
Yeah, so the one that we own and operate, we own one that is contracted, and we're working with them through their insurance company and all that to try to get them open as well. But the one that we own and operate, because it doesn't have a pool, there's nothing that the state can do to shut down the licensing of it. We're going to open it with social distancing. We're spreading the machines out and doing those things, and we're allowing our members, not guests, just members at this time, to come use it.
And with respect to things, you mentioned your Independence Day celebration. I know you do a concert series every summer. That's on, or what?
The concert series is on. There's going to be some adjustments, which we're going to announce later this week. But the Independence Day will have a concert there, and that was actually, of course, a big part of the debate last night. And my position was, what's the difference between holding the fireworks, letting people come look at it, versus putting a band in there to play? We can still have people walking through the crowd and make sure they're not rushing the stage and all of that. Music itself doesn't cause COVID, so we felt like
as far as we know, yes.
And surprisingly, that vote was 5-2 and not unanimous. But the two concerns were about, I believe, largely about the concert. So, but ultimately, we're going to have our fireworks. We will have a concert there. The one thing we are doing is we're limiting parking at the facility to those with village stickers, because obviously we don't want, with the only fireworks in town, we don't want the entire northwest part of or northeast part of the state in Orland Park.
Who do you got for the band?
Eddie Money.
It's Gone to Paradise. It's a Jimmy Buffett cover band.
Oh, God, come on, Jimmy Buffett.
Margaritaville.
God, jeez.
Get your parrot heads up.
You couldn't do, Cheap Trick or Steve Perry. Steve Perry is, back out and about. I saw an interview he gave to Robin Roberts. I mean, you couldn't do a Journey thing. I mean, Jimmy Buffett, Keith. All right. All right, back on point.
Yes, all right. So, Keith, Governor Pritzker has this 10-person gathering limit, and obviously he's not abiding by his own rules because he's been at marches with hundreds and almost even 1,000 people 2 weeks ago. How hypocritical and how disappointed are you in him and his handling of all of this, and how the rules don't apply to him?
It is very hypocritical, obviously, to be out there and say, a few weeks ago, those that were protesting to open back up, they were causing putting people's lives in danger. They were going to kill people. But then you come out, if it's something you support, you can have thousands of people there. And then you tell other people, well, you can't go inside and eat with 10 people. You can't gather outside with 11, heaven forbid. If it's 11, COVID will show up. It's extremely hypocritical.
By the way, you don't have to worry about anybody rushing the stage with a Jimmy Buffett cover band, for goodness sakes. Good Lord. God, what those board members who voted against that were thinking.
When nobody's had a concert for weeks or months?
Well, still. Cheeseburger in Paradise, people are going to rush the stage? I don't think so. Here's the question about the lawsuit. So you're seeking what, an injunctive relief on his phased-in plan? Is that just for Orland Park? Is that statewide? Give us the perspective on the lawsuit.
So we're filing in federal court with ourselves, and then businesses as plaintiffs as well as individual. And there's really 3 parts of the Illinois Constitution that we're focused on. And one is Article 5, one is Article 6, and Article 2. But it's really about his executive powers and exceeding his authority, and the fact that the legislature didn't act to give him additional powers beyond his 30 days, as well as our home rule powers, which only the legislature can explicitly change.
So
And that hasn't happened.
so it may be something. Yeah, that's interesting because the legislature failing to act is acting in a sense. It'll be interesting to see how a court would treat that. They may provide deference to home rule powers, but not. But since the legislature had opportunity to act and chose not to, I don't know. It's interesting. But I mean, ultimately, you're trying to get either for your village or for the entire state what Wisconsin Republicans got when they took their case all the way to state Supreme Court, that the governor's actions are unconstitutional, and so they're overturned, and then it's basically every community charts its own course.
Correct, and every community gets to chart its own course towards opening. The use 14 days, which every expert in the world that I can find says to use 14 days. I've asked the governor repeatedly. I think we sent 9 letters to him, and multiple mayors have signed several of those letters. And we've asked since day one, when his plan first came out, to modify the plan from 28 days to 14 days, and to change phase 5 to actually be metrics that are achievable as opposed to eradicating the virus or a vaccine, which we may never have, being developed, which means it's not just about this next phase and opening up. It's about phase 5, where right now we'll never gather in groups bigger than 50 ever in the rest of our lives, potentially.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, and what are you going to do when they say there's no school in the fall? What are you going to do as the mayor of Orland Park? I mean, do you have any
that's
choice,
the
any
school
power?
district's issue, right?
Yeah, that's a school district issue, but this certainly plays into this issue, is what happens with the schools in the fall. So this is why it's important. And we've tried. We've sent 9 letters, 4 resolutions. We asked the legislature to act. We've tried to engage the governor. So there's been no dialogue from the governor. The legislature abdicated its responsibility. So our next avenue, according to the Constitution, it's the courts. So that's what we're going to do.
Hey, Keith, Dave Bickler, the lead singer of Survivor, and I went to the same high school. I mean, I could call him and see if he could get the band back together. I mean, if you want to upgrade for the 4th of July celebration, I'm just saying.
We have some other bands for our other concerts. We have Tommy James and the Shondells, the headliner for the first one.
Okay.
Scott Stapp of Creed is headliner for another one, and Blue Oyster Cult is the headliner for another one.
Oh, there you go.
Don't Fear the Reaper, sure. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
So we do have some other concerts that maybe you'll enjoy, Dan. You can come out and watch it.
Okay. All right.
You're very persnickety on that.
He is. I can't stand Jimmy Buffett. I don't know. I know I'm an outlier. What do I know? Nobody cares what my opinion is, so everybody will turn out. People like Jimmy Buffett. I just don't, but whatever. Keith Pekau.
People will turn out for fireworks.
Yeah, well, that too. That's true. And, Keith, and by the way, just one other question, just because we're talking about this leadership building consensus and dominoes falling. Anybody else paying attention to what Orland Park is doing and maybe getting encouragement to act in similar fashion?
I hope that there are. I certainly have talked to other mayors that are considering it. Of course, they have to get their boards on board. The most interesting thing about last night's conversation with my board is the conversation was not about the merits of the case or that they agreed with what we're trying to do. It was fear of retaliation from the governor.
Right.
And that's the same thing with the businesses getting involved. And to me, the fact that we are afraid of our government is scary as hell.
It's a great point, and that is a great comment on the culture, the political culture in Illinois. Absolutely. Keith Pekau, U.S. Air Force veteran, mayor of Orland Park. Keith, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
This is attorney Stephen Leahy. This isn't the